Super FENatic, Poems 1 through 21. Redes sociales. No quiero ver tu cara si no es por Facebook. No quiero tu opinión si no es por Twitter. No quiero tu mundo si no es por Insta. No quiero tus gustos si no es por Tumblr. Redes sociales. Empecé con MySpace y lo decoraba completo. Con 40 top friends, no hablaba con ninguno. Luego abrí un Facebook y encontré salvación. Twitter me ayudó también, tuve más comunicación. Con Insta veo el mundo, no necesito viajar. Con Tumblr reblogueo, ¿pa' qué voy a crear? Mejor uso WhatsApp, textos son pa' viejos. Con Snapchat cuento mi historia, pegado a las redes todos los días. Redes sociales. Déjame sacarme un selfie para recibir muchos likes. Déjame darle share para recibir muchos likes. Déjame sacarme un selfie para recibir muchos likes. Déjame darle share para recibir muchos likes. Estoy tan adicto que cuando abro Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Insta, WhatsApp, Snapchat, lo que hago es masturbarme. Redes sociales. Media slaves. People connected, slaves to the media. Facebook and such can be good, can be bad. Double-edged sword. Networking, family time, procrastination, distraction, wasted time. So sad. Just reflect. How many selfies a day do you take? How many times do you post on Facebook? How many likes and comments do you get? What does it all do for you? Why Snap? Why Insta? Why WhatsApp? Why so much time? Slaves. Media slaves. Or eyes to read. There's so much content today it's impossible to absorb it all. I wonder how the percentage of content has multiplied since the availability of the internet. I wish my newsfeed had less fucking ads. People constantly expressing their feelings in newsfeeds, hoping someone will read their words and serve as shoulders to cry on, ears to listen, or eyes to read. Internet obsession. Internet obsession got me going to sleep late, wasting the next date, stuck at home, wasting time, not working on what matters, like poetria, film, and academia. Tomorrow's a new day, things are gonna change, what I say to myself, every damn day, every damn night. But I don't change any fucking thing. Internet obsession, internet obsession. I am a slave to the internet. Gotta change, if I wanna be great, if I truly wanna succeed. Get off my ass and stop with the internet obsession, internet obsession. Nostalgia bombs. We get hit with nostalgia bombs constantly, but that's one of the reasons we unconsciously surf the net so we can escape our reality and enter another, where times were easier and everything seemed hopeful. These streets are filled with sex. These streets are filled with sex, and we've become accustomed to it. We hide away our desires under nicknames that many might decipher, but no one ever does. So we continue reblogging, retweeting, and sharing pictures, gifs, videos, texts of booties, titties, and sexual acts we desire at the moment of a sharp click. Dufresne. Get busy living or get busy dying. Andy Dufresne from The Shawshank Redemption. That's what I tell myself every time I go into social media and then complain about the amount of stuff I want to do. I look at all the things around me. I look at all the lists I have in my notebook. I look at all the projects I have in waiting. And then I remind myself about that famous Andy Dufresne quote. Social media choices. You live and die by your choices. Luke Cage from Marvel's Luke Cage. In these times of change and cultural sensitivity, quotes like this are more relevant than ever. But we must ask ourselves, do we acknowledge personal growth, or will we judge others just by their past? It is a case-by-case thing, and time will do its thing. But while we can, we must always look at the context before destroying lives. Tired. Mostly, I'm tired of people being ugly to each other. John Coffey from The Green Mile. As I look across social media, I feel like John Coffey just tired of people treating each other horribly. Sure, there are some who want to spread peace, love, and positivity, but there are some who do the opposite in the most extreme ways, and it affects you, me, all of us. One would hope the good would surpass the bad, but sometimes things go to the other way around. Perhaps I follow the wrong people. Perhaps I spend too much time on social media. Perhaps. True love. True love is like a ghost. Everyone talks about it, but few have ever seen it. Alvin from Prince Avalanche. As I swim around the internet sea, all I get to see are a variety of people apparently suffering from heartache. Many cry all over their Twitter feeds, writing poetry verses, song lyrics, and film quotes. And one would think they've never found true love. And yes, this feeling is hardly ever experienced. So I wouldn't be surprised if all of these texts are real. But we must not be so juvenile. Internet appearances can be attention whorish. Shitposting. Shitposting. I keep on shitposting, flooding the newsfeed with memes, keep liking pages, keep shitposting, more social media to document my life. Started off with MySpace, now I got more. Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, WhatsApp, Gram, Snap, can't forget photo, RIP, sexual arousal from so much shitposting, emotional arousal from so much shitposting, photos, GIFs, video, I love it all, I want it all. Send me nudes, send me memes, send me snaps, send me links. Don't need food, don't need liquids. Shit postings, all I need. Bitch, trust me, I will live. Waco. What could we have done to make things better? Some say they should have left. Others say they should have stayed. Some say they practiced torture. Others say they did their job. Who's really right? One thing's for sure. Things could have probably be handled better. Unabomber in his own words. I see you and I see a person I once considered a brother, potentially becoming like you, or some form of killer, 'cause he also believes in some of your ideas. Plus, he's also had a rough patch with all sorts of relationships. I hope to God it doesn't happen. Nobody deserves to suffer. I just hope he finds some good. Unlike you, who only focus on the dark side of things. Twitter feed. I scroll down my Twitter and all I see is information, some good and other worthless. Lots of friends telling me about their lives. Lots of promos I don't care for. Lots of people I admire which fuel my inner fire, the passion that leads to my desire to inspire others to do greatness. I find lots and lots of information, some good, other trash. Wish I could control it more. Wish I could read it all. Wish I had more time and enough headspace to take it all. But I can only gather so much in such a time, 'cause it all gets constantly updated. I myself have well over 7,000 tweets. And I find it crazy for people to read all of it. I gotta make it count more. So when people get to read something from me, it makes sense. And it has importance. But I digress. I find it hard for people to read all the shit I share on Twitter. I can't imagine how hard it would be to read someone who has been using Twitter since its foundation. Gotta be determined if you want to do something like that. Too much information on my Twitter feed. Gotta take all that I can and let it out. Gather all I can and do something productive with it. Pretty soon I might just do something with it. You'll see. Don't worry, you'll see. I got something up my sleeves. I'll read out loud like a newsfeed or dashboard. But it'll be physical so you can hold and take with you everywhere. A lot of information with some organization and cohesiveness to do it. A stream of thoughts with some gravitas to them. And it will all work out. Slave. Every day I scroll through my Facebook newsfeed. I am a slave of the internet and social media. Gotta get out of this shit. and be more productive. Gotta be more focused. I'm sharing too many memes on this shit. I'm sharing too much shit on this shit. Gotta give a rest to this shit. Try to be a little more disconnected. Have a little more face-to-face conversation. Stop with the Facebook chat. Stop with the Twitter DMs. Stop with the Instagram scrolling. Stop with the Tumblr scrolling. Too many likes, too many shares. Gotta get out of this shit. And use it when it's meaningful like Frankie did. And use it when it's meaningful like Kanye did. I feel like coloring a book. And I'ma do it. Instead of spending my nights glued to a cell phone or computer. Like I do every day. Say goodbye to the internet. Only use it with a purpose. SC. People say I Snapchat a lot, but in all honesty, I think I barely use it. And when I do, it's mainly for promo purposes. I try to mimic Khaled a bit in that sense, but I don't document my whole day like he does. Instead, I use it for promo events or my projects. Occasionally, I'll throw in on random shit, like my friends doing random stuff. Or maybe a picture of something beautiful that caught my eye, like the bright blue sunny sky. But I barely use Snapchat, and it's not because I don't find it fun. I just don't take selfies, don't document my life except in text, and barely find any use for it, other than promoting the shit out of my work. Sorry if I don't send my life through an app. I'm just not very comfortable with that. Likes. Can't say I don't gather anything from social media. Insta and Tumblr have shown me many beautiful images I wouldn't be able to see unless I had cash. I thank them, but I can't be obsessed. Instead of giving so many likes, I should go out and create my own shit, so I get the likes, because otherwise, what's the point? Floppy disks. I remember I had floppy disks where I used to stash all of my drawings made in paint, all of which I thought were the shit. Later I realized they were all shit. I also used to stash some of my first poems and short stories. The beginnings of an artist with big aspirations could be found in those floppy disks. But sadly, they no longer exist. But thankfully, I've always documented my work after a dumbest decision I took as a kid. So most likely those drawings and poems are somewhere to be seen. Most likely USBs and CDs. Because before the floppy died, I upgraded to these. Dashboard newsfeeds. Pop shots, drugs, fast cars, and fashion. Just a few things I see in the newsfeeds and dashboards. New movements in process, filled with nostalgia. Name it, you got it. From 60s to early 2000s, but mainly 80s and 90s. Hipsters and sex fiends all over. Don't forget the drug consumers. Plenty of smoking cannabis and observers. Can't forget the spam and ads from people looking into fooling you. But it's obvious, so they won't fool you. You're too smart for them. People quoting others endlessly instead of creating their own quotes. Sharing, liking, commenting, endless reblogging, but little original content, all in newsfeeds and dashboards. People creating their profiles off of others' work instead of making their own. Endless media in an endless medium. We don't know how it works, but we love to use it. We're glued to it. Hence why we don't stop sharing, liking, commenting, endless reblogging in newsfeeds and dashboards. Dad's laptop. Dad used to have a laptop that I would constantly use. I would use it to play the Pokemon card game, watch Foxbox, but most importantly, I would use it to create. I would create random drawings using Paint, which I would eventually upload to the www, hoping people would like it. I think that was my first attempt at fame, or at least my first attempt at digital art. First PC. I think it all started with my first PC. I don't remember what model it was or nothing. All I know is I would get home from school, get online, and go to MySpace, Photobucket Guy Online, and Vampire Freaks, as well as Wikipedia and other sites to read about music, movies, and even serial killers. Of course, there was the occasional porno. What teenager doesn't start getting curious about sex? I would spend hours connected, sometimes even left the computer on, because I had heard shutting it off and turning it back on would make the electric bill higher. I think that is why the PC would always get fucked. Leaving it on when thunderous rains would strike would constantly ruin the USB ports or the battery. I guess that's why my PC would always get fucked. But I digress. The important part, I think, is that this WW addiction started when I was a teen who would be constantly looking up info on the www, or would be trying to make some sort of contact with people through Messenger. I think this grew out of a sense of communication and wonder, looking to communicate with others, while also wondering the vast amount of information the www had to offer. I guess that's why it all started.